Greetings, everyone. I'm Eric with Your Essential Practice. For today's Divinely Guided Rune reading, we're doing a bit of a time correction here, along with this whole Saturn retrograde, in theme with this, going all the way back into Pisces. So what that means is now the rune videos are a week ahead. So this will give you a whole week to digest and discern all the information. You're still getting the weekly rune readings, but we're skipping essentially this week, so you can take this week as either a week off energetically or a week to study up for this upcoming huge astrological and astronomical shift that is occurring collectively for all of us. So what does that all mean? That's all in the description box below, all that astrological information, but we're getting into, like I said, the Saturn retrograding all the way back into Pisces, and not only that, we have this huge lunar eclipse. We're in the middle of eclipse season that started with this new moon. Now we have this full moon partial eclipse, and then we have a solar eclipse coming up after that, and we have this huge cosmic visitor coming to us here in the coming months. That is a huge, phenomenal, astronomical impact to all of us. So let's discern what all of that means. All right, let's ground right now. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose, out through the mouth, and really just appreciate this opportunity to get into today's divinely guided rune reading and tap into the information that's available, taking this extra week to discern and digest all the information. Moving forward, having all of the information a week in advance before the readings actually take place. Before, I was doing it the day of, the start of that week, giving you almost no chance to adjust. Here you have the opportunity to adjust. All right. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into your Divinely Guided Rune reading. Greetings, Aquarius, and welcome to your Divinely Guided Rune reading here for the week. Let's get into it. Here's your Lapis Lazuli rune for the energetic past. We have Yera. Yera is the rune of the year. It literally means year or harvest. At the end of the year, we make a harvest. And to make a harvest is to evaluate, to take stock and inventory, to know that what you have sown is what you are reaping. This is like karmic lessons. This is reflecting on what is serving your divinely guided path. Did I plant enough seeds? Did I nurture them enough? Do I need to adjust tactic next season? Things like that. So Yera is reminding us that making beginnings simultaneously makes endings, and vice versa. Making endings simultaneously makes beginnings. Yeah. The rune of clarification for this in the Unikite rune here is in Gibo. Gibo is that balanced rune of reciprocation, also an irreversible rune. Now, Gibo is that balanced give and take rune of gifts. Gibo means gift. It's a lot like the Two of Cups or the Lover's energy in the tarot. So this is very much maybe a lesson learned, or you are recently blessed with a gift. You were given a gift, an energetic harvest, or maybe you learned a lesson with that gift, that learned a lesson about reciprocation in your energetic past. Please take what resonates here and leave what doesn't. In your energetic now, there's more balance, stability in the middle of everything, the world axis, feeling like you're balancing or needing to balance, therefore, the head and the heart space. This is like the world tree, Yggdrasil, the axis of the world, where the squirrel balances the information between the great condor at the top and the great serpent at the bottom. So that's that balance between head and heart energy, constantly adjusting, flowing. This is also like that U branch, Y-E-W, the branch that was often made into bows and would need to be tough, durable, flexible, and strong, right? So you're embodying this energy, or maybe have like a muscle, you're kind of training it. You're gaining more strength and flexibility. The message here, though, is when we're flexible too much or not flexible enough, then we can snap our branches off and become the rune Isa, feeling more rigid, more stuck, more needing to pause in order to gain that clarity. But when we're flexible, we can kind of spin this around and kind of get a glimpse. Oh, there's Sawilo. There's the sun coming through the branches there. That's the opposite of the ice, right? So that's more natural good fortune, luck, success. That's that big balance. Okay, let's get that clarity rune for the now. This is just the overarching energies of the now. Okay, when we're balancing, when we're in that embodiment of this rune of Aiwas, this is beautiful because we're surrendering to divine flow. And Reho here is the rune that's telling us to surrender to divine flow. And this is really beautiful embodiment of that because it's very grounded. Remember, when that rune has that one, at least one line going straight down, as grounded energy, but Reho has that one foot always going forward. So that's being in step with the energies. Anything that's not in alignment with your divine source blueprint or with this stability, you're kind of moving away from it. It's either therefore discordant to you or stagnant. It's not in divine flow. So you're being called to kind of align this stability with divine flow, noticing the lessons that you learned in reciprocity, divine gifts, right? This is all huge lessons in stability and surrendering to divine's will, divine's flow, divine lessons in your energetic future. Wow, you have Gibo here. So I think through embodying this and learning your lessons, you hold that space and you get to invite more of that reciprocity back into your life. In surrendering to divine flow, you invite that beautiful gift, divine partnership energy back into your life. This could be a new divine blessing for you around the corner. This is super beautiful. New gift for you. Let's see what that clarity is. The clarity for this is a beautiful beginning in the birch rune Berkana. Berkana, Aquarius, is like the Empress energy, this beautiful creation energy and nurturing energy, kind of very much like a mother's love, nurturing energy. So very much that balance and reciprocity, give and take, but also looking at the beautiful nurturing of these divine gifts, the nurturing of the reciprocity, the beautiful beginnings of divine gifts and divine partnerships. I really see this as a blessed union and a beautiful beginning for you. If this is a new relationship for you, congratulations. This is beautiful. Okay, this is all happening when we're in divine flow. Remember, when we're focusing too much on the past or the future, we're not in flow. Okay, so this all works when we're in service to one another. Okay, not ourselves. Let's see what the influence is for your now. Influence for your now is in abundance. Fehu is the rune of cattle and abundance. So this is more of that tangible abundance, abundance you can readily see. But this is also a lesson in the things that can, as our abundance increases, so too do the distractions, the avenues that we can invest in. And that leads us off of our divinely guided path. So when we're surrendering to flow, I think we're changing the aspects of what abundance means to us. So you're in this influence of, okay, we have the overarching energies of that needing to be tough, stable. Okay, we get these runes quite a bit. These runes come up quite a bit. Okay, just need to be patient, need to be patient, need to be patient kind of stuff. Learn your lessons, be patient. Okay, then we have this influence of like, okay, so my abundance is I'm just surrendering to divine flow, putting it in divine's hands. It's like laying your burdens at the cross, so to speak. And when we do that, um, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You're surrendering to the now. You are more in divine flow in service of that. So Fehu here is clarified by Urus. Urus is that momentum energy. So that momentum energy focusing on that divine flow, the momentum of the divine flow, remaining grounded, very grounded energy. Urus is like divine, the high priestess kind of energy, embodying more of the natural vitality, abundant energy of that, tapping into that groundedness of your Fehu and that divine connection to guide it along in that flow, right? And that happens when we balance our head and our heart space. And what's the best way we can do that? We can be grounded, right? We can go put our feet onto bare earth, and or even just have those grounded conversations, right? Healthy dialogue. But also this advice. Let's see what's in this advice. I want to see, because this is just the influence. Our advice now is for thorough action. Yeah, thorough action in, I think, surrendering to the flow, being grounded, stable, flexibility. Theresos is like Thor's hammer, very swift, thorough action. It can build, it can destroy, or it can protect. And you got to, it's kind of like striking when the iron's hot. Remaining grounded, but also in with your abundance on your mind kind of thing. Recognizing that you can balance this energy, but noticing like the divine timing and like when to strike and uh, when is the opportune moment to do the thing that you need to do. And I think you know what I mean. Um, let's see what the rune of clarity is for that. Yeah. So August is your divine protection, your divine defense. August is the elk rune, very grounded energy. Yeah, so remain grounded, remain in your faith, remain in divine flow, remain divinely guided and protected. I think you're protecting this energy, but this is very much guiding it along. Um, and like letting this energy, like, hey, no, I thoroughly want to do this with you. Um, I just needed to surrender to flow first. And so do we. We both need to. What is your outcome for this whole thing? This is beautiful stuff. I think you're building and protecting together. Needs, constraints, limitations being met, balances. This is novice. You're going down the path, and now this log is in the path, and so it's up to you to transmute it. It needs to be done thoroughly, right, before you can continue down the path. So this is building together, transmuting together, that reciprocity. Really the balance of what are needs versus wants, what are actual limitations versus perceived limitations, what are failures versus lessons learned, right? In my opinion, there's nothing but lessons learned. Okay, this is in your outcome position, having those needs, balance, and constraints, limitations, all of that being met, right? That reciprocity showing up. All right, this beautiful nurturing and beginning of that partnership that this gets to start off in is beautiful for you, Aquarius. So let's see what your energetic clarity, the rune for clarity is for the outcome. Okay, so this is excuse me, I almost said Lagus. This is Othala. This is the rune of legacy, stability. This is what you're building your structure on. This is your foundation. This is like your faith. You're grounded. Yeah. You're building your legacy. You're building your legacy together. This is challenging you to look at what is perpetual versus what's transitory. So what is lasting? What is going to last 7 generations versus what is not lasting? What is only going to last 1 or 2 generations, right? And you're focusing with that influence and noticing what your true needs, constraints, limitations are in very healthy dynamics here, in very big relationship building kind of ways. Building. Let's get a card of clarity from the Messages from the Fairies Oracle deck. These are divinely guided messages from the fairies. The fairies are divinely guided beings who love to assist us in our journey. So fairies, please show us clearly, what message of clarity do you have for Aquarius here for this week? What message of clarity do you have? Woo! Almost. What message of clarity do you have for Aquarius for this week? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Get some exercise, it says. Yeah, that's going to be like checking into your natural vitality with Urus there. That is tapping into your abundance. That'll help bolster your abundance, like eating healthy, staying grounded. As your body becomes stronger, you begin to feel stronger in all ways. So this rune is also kind of like flexing that muscle of durability, stability, strength, flexibility. That's like our spiritual muscles, right? Building up your spiritual muscles. Maybe this is getting your spiritual exercise. That would be interesting. Let's read more about this card. Got some exercise says, as your body becomes stronger, you begin to feel stronger in all ways. The fairies know the importance of physical activity. They play, dance, and run around daily to keep themselves in good physical shape. Moreover, they know that exercise is the secret to lasting energy, health, and happiness. It's a wonderful stress reducer that can improve every area of your life, including your career, finances, and relationships. You drew this card because your body is crying out for cardiovascular or muscular stimulation. If you ask the fairies, they'll help you find the time and motivation to exercise in fun ways. Okay, Aquarius, additional meanings for this card are do something physical today, or take a cue from the fairies to take dance lessons. Dancing is a beautiful thing to do, right? Get into that movement, shake your booty. Another meaning is exercise outdoors, in nature, to benefit. Yeah, grounding. Do yoga, tai chi, or other Eastern exercise techniques. Another meaning is exercise with your children or loved ones. A couple other final meanings are to join a sports team or to meet new friends. And finally, stay positive. Say positive affirmations to and about your body, like in the mirror when you're doing your mirror work. Say positive things to your body. Namaste, Aquarius. Have a blessed, abundant week.